Hey, it's Rick. So, for my presentation, I want to talk about what does conflict teach us? What are the lessons that we can learn from conflict? And so, for me, I want to discuss Numbers chapter 12. Numbers chapter chapter 12. Um, it reads, when they were in Hazeroth, Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married, for he had indeed married a Cushite woman. They said, has the Lord spoken only through Moses? Has he not spoken through us also? I love this verse. And the Lord heard it. Uh, Now, the man, Moses, was very humble, more so than anyone else on the face of the earth. Suddenly, the Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, come out, you three, to the tent of meeting. So the three of them came out. Then the Lord came down in a pillar of a cloud and stood at the entrance of the tent, um, called Aaron and Miriam. They both came forward. Uh, and he said, hear my words. When there were prophets among you, I, the Lord, make myself known to them in visions. I speak to them in dreams, not so with my servant Moses. He is entrusted with all of my house. With him I speak face to face, clearly not in riddles, and he beholds the form of God. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? Um, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. When the cloud went away from over the tent, Miriam had become leprous, as white as snow. And Aaron turned towards Miriam and saw that she was leprous. And Aaron said to Moses, O my Lord, do not punish us for the sin that we have so foolishly committed. Do not let her be like one stillborn whose flesh is half consumed when it comes out of her mother's womb. And Moses cried to the Lord, please heal her. In Numbers chapter 12, we find two people who are positioned and poised by God for greatness. And the tension rises immediately when it says that Aaron and Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses. Here is his big sister and his right hand man speaking against him. Miriam is mentioned first in word order, not accidentally or incidentally. It's purposeful because it seems to be she is the one causing the action. She is the one speaking against Moses. The last time we heard about Miriam, it's in Exodus chapter 15, right after God brings them through the Red Sea, and she grabs a tambourine and just starts praising God, spontaneous praising. But she has gone from prophesying to protesting. She has gone from praise um, to problem blaming. She has gone from blessing to blaming. She's gone from dancing to damning. What can we learn from this conflict? Well, I think there's three takeaways that we can have. Number one, Miriam felt threatened. The question is, why would Miriam talk about her brother and her pastor and her leader? She's the one that drew him out of the water. Why now is she talking crazy about her brother? It's right there in verse 1. It's because of the Cushite or the Ethiopian woman which he had married. Why does that matter? I suggest that Miriam felt threatened. And sometimes in leadership, people feel threatened. And when they feel threatened, they feel like they're backed into a corner. They will lash out at you and respond. Why would Miriam feel threatened? Because up to this time, Miriam was the only woman in leadership. She's the only woman mentioned. The leadership circle consists of Moses, Aaron, Joshua, and Miriam. and their 70 elders who are all men. But now, for the first time, another woman has entered the scene, and Miriam feels threatened by the presence of another woman. She needed to be reassured that just because somebody new was added to the leadership team, it doesn't mean that she's going to lose her position. And instead of addressing what the issue was, she lashed out and she spoke against her brother. Leadership lesson takeaway number 2: when they go low, we go high. I wish I could claim credit for that. That's not mine. That belongs to Michelle Obama. I want to point out again in verse that they say, has God only spoken through Moses? Hasn't he spoken through us too? And God heard it. Now Moses was a very humble man, more so than anyone else on the face of the earth. Moses had every right to get angry, to cuss out Miriam, cuss out Aaron, but that's not what he does. He maintains his character. He doesn't fly off the handle. He doesn't go off. And here's the great news: he doesn't have to, because God heard it. God heard it. And God literally, when he hears it, God comes down and he touches Miriam with leprosy. I love the fact that God brings the interested parties all together. He doesn't whisper around. All three of them come together. Moses remains humble, and God literally fights for Moses. I saw a meme that I was gonna include in the presentation, but I'm running out of time. It says that every preacher needs somebody who will cuss folk out for them. God does the cussing here, and he literally cusses Miriam with leprosy. Then we got to go. It takes me 10 minutes to clear my voice, so I don't know how they expect me to do this in 5. But our third takeaway is extend grace and a path towards restoration. Moses, when Miriam is struck down with leprosy as a result of her speaking against Moses, Moses very easily could have been like, well, you know what? That's what you get. But Moses extends grace. Moses prays for her. And in his praying for her, he extends a path, not just of grace that the rest of Israel gets to see, but he also extends a path towards restoration for her to come back into the fellowship, that she's not permanently rejected because of this one-time offense, but she can come back to the fold. Here's the crazy thing. We're never told that Miriam apologized, but the mark of maturity is, as a leader, is forgiving those who've hurt you, even when they haven't apologized. I really want to preach this thing, but time is out. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation on conflict and our 3 takeaways. Take care.